In this video, we will look at why elasticity is important for demand and supply analysis. Now, usually when we start, we usually draw an elastic demand and an elastic supply. And it looks something like this. Not too steep supply curve and a not too steep demand curve. If we then have a decrease in demand with a left shift in the demand curve, you have a decrease in price from P1 to P2 and a decrease in price and a decrease in quantity from Q1 to Q2, and we end up at equilibrium Q2. So let's look at if we have an inelastic demand and an elastic supply and there's a decrease in demand. So first, our supply curve is not too steep but not too flat. But our demand curve is now a relatively steep line because we have an inelastic demand curve. If we then have a decrease in demand, there is the leftward shift of the demand curve to D2, which means we move from equilibrium 1 to equilibrium 2, and this is what I want to point out to you. You see the quantity demanded changed from Q1 to Q2. If we look at our previous example, it's a similar decrease in the quantity demanded. However, if we look at the price with an inelastic demand, P1 to P2, the price change is much smaller than we had with both elastic demand and elastic supply. We can do the same with an elastic demand and an inelastic supply curve. So with this, it's a not too steep, not too flat demand line, and it's a steeper supply line. If we then do an increase in supply, S2, we move from the original equilibrium to the new equilibrium, Q2, P2. So again, it's a relatively small price change and a small quantity change. What you should do is to draw various combinations of these elasticities of the demand and supply curve. Here you have 3 examples. See what other examples you can draw and what other conclusions you can make.